everyone, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and this year I have done really not the greatest at keeping up with YouTube, especially long videos that I post, because either files get corrupted or the exporting process never works. So I've really been doing more of YouTube shorts when it comes to my projects, either whether that be reading or crocheting. And I really haven't been doing film reviews because I haven't been seeing that many films this year. I am still with books and films. I have not watched trailers. I don't read the back of the books, anything like that. So I still see movies blindly. So this is just really a wrap up of what I've been doing this year. We're on March 4th right now, March 4th. And I kept thinking, okay, I'll do, what are my plans for this year? I do think I have a video about what my plans for this year were. And when it comes to BookTube stuff, scrap the whole idea. Not entirely. I did read some Stephen King already, so we're going to start with books. Should we start with books or should we start with films? Roll the dice. Let's start with books. I'll do books, crochet, and then I'll talk about films so far this year. But book-wise, I had the whole idea of, I was in the middle of reading Skeleton Crew, the short story collection of Stephen King. As you guys know, last year I read It by Stephen King, The Long Walk, and I wanted to go down a whole journey of reading Stephen King. Also read The Shining last year. So I wanted to kickstart this year finishing Skeleton Crew and then going straight to Dr. Sleep before starting the whole case of The Dark Tower, because I want to go down the lore. And a lot of people say either read them in chronological order, publication order, how they came out, or the Dark Tower series explains so much and will make other stories such as Insomnia, which is one I do want to read eventually. It'll make a lot more sense. So I was gonna finish Skeleton Crew, read Dr. Sleep again, because I've read that in the past, and then start the whole Dark Tower series. But sometimes life just sends you on different little journeys, and I got a couple of short stories for Christmas last year, so I did finish Skeleton Crew. But the very first book I read and completed, I was midway done with Skeleton Crew when I realized the whole trope of Stephen King's endings not being the best. I was feeling very worn out with the short stories. So I took a quick break. I DNF'd it for just a soft DNF'd it for a little bit. And I picked up the first book I got as a gift last year for Christmas. I found a circus in the woods behind my house. I did make some shorts about this. It's written by Ben Farthing, and it is actually very good. I did enjoy it. It's a good short story. My only thing is I've gotten used to clowns that are like 6 feet tall, you know, Pennywise, Art the Clown, like really super tall and just brutal clowns. These are, I don't know how tall the main character is, but it says these clowns are like 2 feet shorter than him. And some of them aren't really people, they're cardboard cuttings. It's very bizarre. But so I was never scared, except for the aspect of spoilers if you want to read this, but there is a part where he is trying to save his child. The whole time he's holding his 4-year-old child, and he's trying to save his child out of the clown car. And as he's pulling his son out of the car, he's holding him the entire time, he looks back and he sees his son being grabbed by one of the clowns, and he looks down and he sees his son still in his arms, but he looks back and now there's 2 of his sons, same kid, both being taken by these clowns. And it made him think, did I leave my son behind? is this a clone? Is this my real son, or is my real son back there? So that part, as a parent, I was like, that was really scary. But even when everything's said and done, he still doubts himself that he couldn't save all those hallucinations. For me, I'd be like, I'm so glad I have my daughter. I don't have a son, I have a daughter. But I would just be so glad to have my daughter back that I would be like, okay, I couldn't save all the hallucinations, but I have my daughter back. And a lot of that is probably because I've lost a lot of pregnancies. So it's like, and I'm not, well, that starts a whole new conversation. I do still grieve those losses, but what reminds me to not just sit there and grieve those losses, aka him saving all those other versions of his son, is I have my actual child with me. So, and I love Ben Farthing's point to this is he used to do charity work, but then, you know, the demands of parenthood, especially when they're young, it took him away from the charity work. So at the end of this, the character promises that he will always try to help as many people as he can. And that's kind of what Ben Farthing's point to himself is even if once his kids are grown up and don't demand his attention so much, he'll try to help as many people as he can. I commend him for that belief, but since being in grooming and a little small time in pet rescue, I've come to the conclusion I'm too tired to try to help everybody I can. Sometimes I wear myself out, and then, you know, personal friendship issues that I'm not going to talk about, but there have been some issues where I've dedicated nights worrying about people in my life, and it has drained me so much that my sole focus is my daughter and keeping her happy. And even, yes, her being a child does demand so much attention, but even when she gets older, I may not be her top priority, but she'll always be mine. So I will always, I can't see me going back in trying to dedicate that much time into absolutely everybody. But I understand his point, and I think that's a very commendable thing for him to want to do. So it's a good book if you want to read it. It's a good, only 98 pages, I believe. No, I think the story, yeah, it's only 98 pages long. So it's a good read, good short read. And then I went back and I finished Skeleton Crew. I'm not going to make a whole video about this, but I do have a short just rating all the stories from least to favorite. I think my favorite read was The Mist, because I saw the movie when I was a kid. I'd forgotten about it. I read it, and then I watched the film, and I'm like, oh my gosh, again, and it was so good. But my favorite story from it, real quick, I know my least favorite story from it too, but, oh my gosh, where's the table of contents? I like Survivor Type, that was a really good one, but my absolute favorite one is The Ballad of the Flexible Bullet. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. It's been a while since I've read it already, but I finished that one. This is a pretty hefty read. It was, like, I'm not a fast reader, so I've seen readers, that one YouTuber who finished it, which is like 1,000 pages in 3 days. I'm not that person. This is 573 pages, but I did finish it, and it was really good. I did just have to take a break because his endings, it's like what people say, the build-up's so good, but the endings are always very similar. And I just got burnt out, and I needed a quick break, but I did finish it. And then again, my plan was to go to Dr. Sleep right after, but I wanted to I wanted to also read this book that was recommended by, what are they called? Life on Books. They recommended The Trees Grew Because I Bled There by Eric LaRocca. And this is actually another set of short stories. So I'm like, oh, that's great. I read last year the short stories, 20th Century Ghost by Joe Hill. And honestly, of all the short story writers, I think Joe Hill's were the most interesting. Where the Locusts Sing, or How the Locusts Sing. Because the build-up for this one from Life on Books was like, it's so gruesome. Oh, it's so, like, look at the name. The trees grew because I bled there. It reminds me of a short story I wrote in college, Let the Blood Bleed. Yes, people worried about me, but I thought it'd be that level of gruesome. It never really got there. I was never really scared. Even that story, the trees grew because of blood there. It was just... I was a little let down on this one, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I read that. It's 171 pages. I did read them. They became more, not lackluster, because there really wasn't build-up. It's just flat, for me. But again, if you read Joe Hill's 20th Century Ghost, especially Where the Locusts Sing, you'll understand why, for me, this isn't that bad. It'd be like having, if you're having hot wings, gosh, from Buffalo Wild Wings, and you've had blazing, but then someone's like, oh, you should try the habanero. The habanero is not going to be as hot because you've already had the most. So this, maybe if I hadn't read the Joe Hill Where the Locust Sings first, this, maybe one of these stories would have hit. But because of my experience with a little bit more grotesque stuff, this one didn't hit that much. But it was interesting, and it was nice to take a break from the Stephen King and Joe Hill family and to go to someone I've never heard before. So as an author I've never heard of, I definitely do recommend it. It was really good. Now, those are the books I have finished reading. So again, what was my plan last year? Oh, I was going to go and read Dr. Sleep, which Dr. Sleep. I do have that because I finished The Shining last year, and I've read Dr. Sleep in the past, maybe a decade ago. So obviously I need to be freshened up on it. And I know it ends differently than the movie because well, I can't spoil stuff. I'm not going to spoil The Shining and Dr. Sleep. I've never seen the movie Dr. Sleep. So I want to read the book again and then watch the movie. But for some random reason, when I finished this story and I was ready to go on to Dr. Sleep, I just had a weird want to take a little adventure with a little hobbit named Bilbo Baggins. And again, this is a reread. I have read this one before. I definitely remember a lot more now as an adult. It's been a minute since I've read it, like middle school. And then it's been a minute since I've seen the movies. I forgot they broke the movies up into 3, kind of like Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, and Return of the King. But I forgot that they broke up The Hobbit in 3 movies because it's just one book. So I don't remember everything that happens in the movies. But now that I'm reading it, it is very much like the movies. And like when they're singing the Misty Mountains song, I just pull up the song and sing along with them. But yeah, this isn't Dr. Sleep. This isn't Stephen King. This isn't anything new. It's not anything challenging. I've annotated nothing because I know the story like the back of my hand, but there's something so refreshing just picking it up and going on this little journey. And I think the biggest difference for me with the book to the movie is I do remember Bilbo was not as excited to go on this adventure. In the book, he's a lot more so, but my husband made a good point that in the movie, they can't explain in his head. He's probably saying, I don't want to do this. But out loud, next thing he knows, he's saying, let's go. They can't really express that. So yeah, they do have to act out like, no, I don't want to. So it makes sense. But so far, having so much fun with it. I am on page 140, chapter 13, Flies and Spiders. And yeah, it's so much like the movie. I forget, spoilers if you haven't seen or read The Hobbit or know anything about The Lord of the Rings, I forgot that in the Hobbit movie, Bilbo does find the ring and he does meet with Gollum. And so they're like, he literally just comes across it so nonchalantly. He gets left behind after they kill the Goblin King and he falls back. And when he gets up, he's like rummaging around and he just finds this ring and he puts it in his pocket. And I was like, did he find the ring in the movie? And my husband's like, oh yeah, he did. And he has to play the riddle game with Gollum. And I'm like, I don't remember that. So I'm reading it and I'm like, I do remember that. He did find the ring. And he just like found it so nonchalantly. That's crazy. So it's been fun. Just a fun little break of a reread. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to get to the Dark Tower this year. I don't know if I want to. I want to read it eventually. But I have a few more things I found, and I'm like, I kind of am more excited to read those kind of books. The next book, I'm still in the middle of reading. I've learned I cannot do ebooks because I'm trying to cut down my screen time, and opening my book to read, it cuts into like, oh, you've spent 11 hours on your phone. So I had to get the physical copy of The Housemaid, and I want to see the movie, but I don't want to see the movie until after I finish this book. Now, I don't know if it's different. I haven't cracked the physical book open yet, to be honest. I'm on page 57. Sorry, what was that face? No, I'm on chapter 11. Ah, there it is. Page 59, chapter 11. But I've been reading in the ebook, so I went and got the physical copy. So yeah, it's the same thing. Page 59, chapter 11. And so far, so like I haven't made a dent in it at all. Maybe barely a dent. But so far I've been liking it, but I just can't get into it because I feel guilty reading it on my phone. I'm like, you're wanting to cut your screen time. And then with my business and the mobile grooming and appointments here, appointments there, friends and family is saying, hey, can you make it to this? Can you make it to that? Hey, let's plan this, let's plan that. I can't focus reading on my phone. So I have to get this and do like how I read and just cut out time away from my phone so I can actually delve and focus on it. But so far it's okay. It's not the best book I've read, but it's interesting enough. I want to know what's wrong with the owner of the house. She seems batshit crazy, and I've definitely been, not a housemaid, but I've definitely been where like you're so desperate you need money that if your employer is treating you like shit, you let some things slide, but some of the things she was letting slide, I'm like, oh hell no. I wouldn't let someone talk to me that way, but I'm a feisty little thing, so I'll go broke before someone talks to me like that. So that's book talk. Let's get into crochet. I think, and if I haven't, I will put a picture of it, wicked star-shaped table cover I've done. So I finished that. And then I haven't posted anything, but I've been working on quite a big project. It's March now. I have to have this project due by May because it's for Mother's Day. And I think everyone probably knows what this is. The flower bouquet of crocheting. So I'm making several of them for the moms in my family. So my sister likes pastel colors, so this is just the blanket part. Oh, I really don't want to get up. My back hurts from all the work I do, but that's okay. Also, Ghostface, we're going to talk about him soon, honestly. But anyway, so my sister has the pastel one. And then today what I'm going to do is not with this, or this color. With this green, I'm going to add the leaves to it. And then, I think that one's for my sister. I don't know who this one's for. I can't remember exactly who all of them are for. Specifically, this may be for one of my older sisters or my sister-in-law, and that will be, that's the blanket. That would be with this green. Yeah, this green. This more. Or no, I think it'd be cute with the same green, with the light green. And then this one, I know who it's for. This is for my older. They're all older sisters, but her favorite color is purple. Mine is too, but I'm not making me one. As you can tell, there's two different purples. I ran out. This is a light purple. This is a dark purple up here. I did run out. I don't think she'll care or mind, but I'm not making me one. I might make one as a table runner, like I did the Wicked table runner and all my other ones, but it'll be much smaller than this. And then for this one, I'll add the more dark green for the leaves, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then this one is for my mama. My mama. Again, this is for Mother's Day. These are for all the moms in my family. And hers is this royal blue, and I love this color. Hers seems like the biggest one. It's funny, she has the biggest one, she's the smallest one of all of us, but whatever. It's the same pattern, but I just think the materials are a little bit different, so I don't know why hers is big. They're all 35 rows, so it just appears bigger, but hers will definitely be with the dark green. Oh, look how pretty that's gonna be. It's gonna be so pretty. And then I'm gonna dedicate, if I do one for our table, it'll be white. And I'll dedicate a whole day where I just make flowers. I don't know how to make the flowers yet. I have not attempted it, but I'm excited to do it. And that's what I'm gonna do for Mother's Day. So according to everyone, like, I haven't been doing crochet stuff, but I really have. I just haven't posted it because I don't want my moms, and well, not my moms, but the mamas in my family to know about it. So that is crochet. And then I'm working on a dress in the purple color right now. I do have more royal blue. I want to make a bucket hat with the sunflower on it, and then a vest in the royal blue with the sunflower on the back. But those don't have any time limits. I just want to make those. Okay, now we're going to talk about movies. So, films this year. I haven't been excited to see the films. I've only seen 3. The first one was Primate. So I'm not really making film reviews for each movie this year because I don't think I'm going to see that many. I might at the end rate them all, and I'll just put them in update videos like this. But Primate was actually really good, except the only thing that bothers me, and it kind of hit too close to home this year, is the monkey had rabies, right, from a mongoose. Oh yeah, total spoilers, movie reviews. But the monkey had rabies from a mongoose. The monkey ends up biting the sister, who starts bleeding out because they put her in the pool and blood flows faster when it's wet. So she's basically bleeding out in the pool, but somehow she makes it to the end. And then the dad gets bit by the ape too, or chimpanzee as well. He gets bit. And when they're putting the sister up on the ambulance bed and the ambulance is wheeling her away, they literally lie to her and they're like, "It's okay, you'll be fine." And the dad and the main character just standing back as the ambulance drives away. She got bit by a monkey who was positively infected with rabies. Same with the dad. They are not okay. And I don't know why they made it not a PSA like, no, they're not fine. If you get bit, I'm mad at myself right now, but if you get bit by an animal that has rabies, humans can get rabies too, and you will not make it. And this year, while grooming, is still kind of an issue. For my personal business, I do have everyone give me their pets' rabies papers. I have to have their pets on current on their rabies shot. But with the mobile grooming, I learned this the hard way. They don't require the paperwork because they think they don't have to. And I'm like, of course you do. And of course you have the right. I groomed a dog that was being a little aggressive. And he did get me. Where did he get me at? Did he get me on my owl? My owl always gets attacked. When I had kidney stones and they were trying to like find a vein, they like literally kept poking him in the same place. He swelled up so bad. One year I got bit by a German Shepherd. That German Shepherd did have rabies because I work corporate and they are hard pressed on the rabies paperwork. So wasn't worried with that, but he had to bite him on the freaking owl. And then this dog literally bit him again. It's healed now, but that's when I reached out to the mobile and I'm like, because I asked Mom, I was asking for, because they needed to get that dog sedated to get groomed. I was like, have you guys taken him to the vet yet recently? And oh my gosh, the mom got so defensive. She's like, why? I'm like, well, I think he may need a sedated groom and be groomed at a vet. And she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, that was a weird response. But then afterward, I called my boss and I was like, do we require rabies paperwork? And she's like, why? Which again, don't be mad at me because I'm asking that. But I was like, well, he did kind of get me a little bit. And the mom seemed very, very protective when I asked if he's been to the vet. And she's like, well, we can't really make them give us paperwork. I'm like, yeah, you can. Yes, you can. So I was like, watch me hate primate because they're not honing in the fact that if a human gets bit by an animal with rabies, you will get rabies and you will not make it if you do not get treated. I think there's a treatment. I don't know. But basically you will, I told my husband, if I start having a fear of water, salivating, anything like that, I'm fine. It's been like over a month. But dude, I really thought for a minute that, and I just, it's not funny. It's not funny at all, but I've always said if I go, it's probably going to be, I used to think it'd be me being like, oh, this dog's so cute. And then it attacked me, but I'm very much more respectful of animals' spaces now. Like if an animal's cute, I can say it from a distance. I don't have to go up to every animal and go like, oh my God, you're so cute. Like respect the pet's space, but some way, somehow it's going to be by an animal. And so this dog biting me after I was complaining about rabies from this movie, oh, this is like, are you serious? But I did like primate. It was more gruesome than I thought it would be, and I loved it. I liked the practical effect that the ape was in a person in a costume instead of them harming an animal or anything like that. Because I would not, if you watch Jordan Peele's Nope, working with a chimpanzee, nope. They can be very harsh and violent creatures. So it was a good movie. It wasn't the best, but it was pretty good. The next movie I saw was The Bone Temple. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. And on first watch, I was annoyed because I'm like, why are we following the Jimmies? Like, I just did not like the Jimmy aspect. And why are we talking about Jimmy Salva and like everything he did? Like Predator, Stranger Danger, no one likes him. Him and his, what did they call them? His, oh my God, what did he say? Kept saying, I want to say commissions because I'm thinking grooming wise, but charity and his charities and stuff. And I'm like, why are we giving any time of day to Jimmy Salva? I don't understand it, and I really still kind of don't. But they did make them a lot more gruesome, and I felt so, I like gore, body horror, but the instant he said to the seven fingers, our first charity will be the removal of the shirts, I could already feel myself wanting to throw up. I'm like, and my husband didn't get it. He was just like, oh, a lot of them take their shirts off, da da da. And I'm like, he doesn't know what that means. So when they started cutting in past their clothing into their flesh, he's like, are they gonna skin them? And I'm like, yes, babe. He said, it's the removal of the shirts. They're gonna skin them alive. I felt so uncomfortable in that scene. It was really, just cringy. But I mean, it got the point. I did like the actor of Jimmy Crystal. He was in Sinners as well. And he was so funny because my story is very funny. I grew up being raised Catholic. And then around like 2012, after my sister left the family and the church, then my mom was like, do you still see the point of going to church? And I was like, I guess not. And so we became atheists, my mom and I. And for me, that just meant I didn't believe in anything anymore. But after living with her for so many years, it kind of became almost satanic. I'm not gonna lie, because it was very much hating anyone and everyone who even mentioned religion. Oh, I'm going to church this Sunday. Ew. Oh, do you want to buy this? One of my first dates with my husband was at the fair, and these people came up to us and they're like, would you like to buy a Bible? And I was like, ew. And it's like, it became so mean. I was so mean because that's how my mom was. It was like, not only are you atheist, but you're just mad at anyone who isn't, and you're mad at anyone who believes in God. And it's just a cat, like you're just an angry little thing. So then I met my husband, and he's like, we would go out to eat in the store, you're buying something, and it's like, thank you, I appreciate it. I always say that. I'm like, thank you so much, I appreciate it. And the person will say, have a blessed day. I'm like, ew, I don't know how to have a blessed day. I know how to have a good day. And my husband's like, why are you so mad about it? Them saying have a blessed day or bless you or anything like that, they're just wishing you a good day. Call it what you want, but they're not wishing harm on you. Like, why are you so angry? And so I really started thinking about it. I'm like, why am I so angry about it? So anyway, over time, I've kind of gone back to religion. We had our daughter, and I wanted her to get baptized through the Catholic Church. Again, I was raised Catholic. And it's kind of like what they say, that like with vampires, vampires aren't real. But in a case, they are. It's not bad to put a little bit of garlic outside your door. So even if the stuff isn't real, it's not bad to just put that garlic outside her door for her. And we did get her baptized. And that day I wanted to write a whole book, like story about an atheist meeting a priest. And guess what? I walked into the church and nothing burnt down. It sounds funny, but I really thought like I was too far gone. I'm not gonna cry. It's one of those things, like I really thought I was too far gone to be accepted in a church. And now we're not going to the Catholic Church because it's really hard to concentrate when our daughter is still learning how to, function in a public setting like that. So we go to Life Church, which I was very against that because I was like, if I'm going to be religious, I'm going to be Catholic, I'm going to follow the guidelines, do the testimonies, do the acts of contrition, blah, 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 blah. But they have a little play area, and it's a learning area. They do learn in there for our daughter, and then we can go to service and actually focus. And so she goes there, and I'm like, for her social skills, I want her to do that because most likely I'm gonna homeschool her. So this gives her time to be social with other kids, and then we can focus on service. And it's just this whole thing of now I'm baptized. Like I got baptized through Life Church last year with my husband, But anyway, all this to say, that conversation between Jimmy Crystal and, oh my gosh, Ray finds his character, Ian, and he's like an atheist and a Satanist. And guess what? Guess what? They were just having a conversation. They were getting along. And it reminds me too, when I was like deeply into atheism, like hatred atheism. And I worked with a lady at another grooming place who is overtly Christian. And she would come in like saying, have a blessed day on her report cards and just wearing Jesus stuff. And I'm over here wearing science related shirts. And I remember on her last day of work, she's like, it was a pleasure working with you. She's like, you know what you taught me? That even though we're different, so different in views, we can actually get along. And it's just, I do love that even though we are different, we can get along. Now, Jimmy Crystal is batshit crazy, but it's a funny scene. Him just saying, yeah, I can just kind of talk to you. And you could tell he never talked to someone before, because if you watch 28 Years Later, his parent believed that the rage virus was God sending, the end of times on us and everything. So he did grow up with this very Satanistic view and he, it's a whole thing. But he thought that Ian was basically, what did he call him? He called him his dad, Saint Nick, old Saint Nick. Was it Saint Nick? Saint Nick is Santa. Old Nick is what he called him. Yeah, he called him Old Nick, and he believed he was the devil because he had the iodine on him, and he was dancing with the alpha. And he was getting along with the alpha. And the alphas are the biggest things that just literally rip someone's whole spinal cord out. And I like how they put the alpha in a more vulnerable situation. I don't know how it's going to go now that the Dr. May, most likely, is gone. He did write down the cure or the mixture of the morphine and everything to help sedate the alphas. But I don't know how the third one's going to go. Seeing Cillian Murphy, that was the highlight. Not only seeing Cillian Murphy in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, but he is also in Taylor Swift's music video, Opalite, which my daughter loves the song Opalite. And I love how Taylor, brought back all those people from her session at the Graham Norton show and used them I guess, but had them star in her music video. I thought that was really great. And then the next movie I saw, so far of the three, The Bone Temple is my favorite, because the next movie I saw was Wuthering Heights. I wanted to read it before, but I just didn't have the time, and I didn't have the caring, because again, I'm going down this random journey that I've already been down, so getting to Wuthering Heights, I'm just not going to get there. So my sister and I went and saw it, and the set designs were beautiful, and the costumes were gorgeous, and I forgot that Margot Robbie played Barbie. Because some of those designs, I'm like, she literally looks like classic Barbie right now. Those collectible kinds, when they're wearing big frilly dresses, like pretty, gorgeous. But the story, it's very, more so 50 Shades of Grey. And I don't like stories like that because I've been in some really not that great situationships where people become obsessed with each other and then they become violent because obsession. You always have more of a primal thing to you. I didn't like Jacob Elordi's character. I couldn't understand a shit thing he said in the movie. And I really liked Catherine's husband. I was like, Catherine's husband is like my husband. And that'd be like me obsessing about one of the situationships I had in the past. Bumping into an old situationship, and it's like, I can't be with him. I'm going to go pout in my room until I die. Literally, she pouted in her room until she died. Yeah, my husband would say, get the fuck out of my house, which he would have every right to say. Because, like, I would have every right to say if he found some situationship he had in the past, and it's like, oh, if I can't have her, I'll just sit in my room and die. It's like, you can go sit on the street and die. You're not going to sit in my house and die. Sorry. It was not that great. And it said it was rated R, and besides her fingering a fish, a dead fish in jelly, I saw nothing else rated R in that. That I did have to turn my face. But compared to all the stuff I've seen this year, I had to turn my face away when she was fingering the fish in jelly. I was like, I hate fish. I hate dead fish. I hate dead fish in food. That's a whole nother thing. In Ireland, I ordered a soup, and I did not know it would have the fucking lobster claw, dead lobster claw at the bottom. So I'm over here eating the soup, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. Oh, this is delicious. Da, 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 da. I pick it up to drink it, and there's a fucking dead fish claw in there. I literally threw up, not even ED-wise or nothing. Like, I didn't even have an eating issue back then. That just freaked me the F out. I threw up from the restaurant all the way back home. It was, so, well, not home. I didn't live in Ireland. I wish I did. But back to where our living quarters were at the time. It was so disgusting. So that's the only part I had to turn away. But yeah, so Wuthering Heights, like, I can't even, like, rate these movies because except for The Bone Temple, I would give a B+. Wuthering Heights, I'd give an F. No, I like the set designs. I'll give it a D-. D- for the set designs and the costumes. And then Primate, I would give Primate a C+. The next movie I want to see, The Bride, that comes out, that's actually out now. I want to see it, but I really want to work more on the leaves of my crochet projects. So I'm not going to see it tonight. And because of my schedule, I have to carve out a day that I'm not going to work first thing in the morning. So probably next Monday I'll go see The Bride. It stars Christian Bale, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Christian Bale. I forget who The Bride is, but I've been seeing trailers for that since last summer. It looks so good. I'm so excited to go see it. I hope it's good. And then, oh, let's talk not about Scream, because I'll go see the Scream movie, but I'm not excited because I don't like what they did to the whole situation from the last cast of Scream 5 and 6. The drama of that, and then bringing in Sydney Prescott again because they don't have anyone else to work with. Now, the only reason I'm excited to see Scream 7, let's be real, Matthew Lillard is the only reason I'm gonna go even support it. But the reason I'm excited about Ghostface right now is because I just saw the trailer. Yeah, look at him. Guess who's back? Back again. Scary Movie. I just saw the trailer. I just saw the trailer for Scary Movie, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to laugh so hard about the past decade because the eggshells everyone has had to walk around each other with. If you say the right thing to one person, it's the wrong thing to the other person. If you say the wrong thing to this person, it's the right thing to that person. Now upset this person. So I've just learned to shut up because it's been so much. And I just can't wait to laugh. That trailer alone just had me finally laughing. It's not even like, it is the return of the Scary Movie franchise and the return of the Wayans brothers and it being their property again. I'm so happy for that. But for me, it's the return of comedy. Someone just went and saw a comedian, I'm not going to say the comedian's name, but with their partner, and the other person didn't like it because of the person's personal political views. And it's just like, Can comedy just not be comedy anymore? Can we not even laugh about it? Scary movie's gonna swoop in and say, yeah, you can laugh about it. And if it offends, it offends. They've done it for years. That's what they do. And if it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't support it just because that is, oh, well, I'm sure that, here's the thing. We all probably support something that someone else doesn't. Because we're not all the same person. We're not all the same minded people. But all I want to do is laugh. I've seen so much, we've all seen so much heaviness from this. Have all had to just walk on eggshells, and my feet hurt from walking on eggshells, mentally and physically. I just want to let loose, take my shoes off, and laugh, bust out laughing. So I'm so excited for that. I think that's going to wrap up the wrap up. I'm mostly going to do shorts, probably with the bouquets. I'll do shorts of those. But I do want to get a video of all the mamas in my family with them. But yeah, if you guys like this video and you want to talk about any of the books, crochet, or films, that your opinions on them, you're free to do so in a nice, kind, constructive way. And yeah, we will talk later. I don't want to say it now because when I gave the whole, here's my BookTube plans for this year, I'm probably not going to do the Dark Tower series. I might start it if I can I have a whole new plan because I have a whole new series that I looked everywhere for. And the only clue you get is my daughter is going to have her third year birthday party, being dinosaur themed. Can you guess? Can you guess? Probably not. Anyway, well, that is the video for today. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And definitely check out my shorts. They're probably a lot more entertaining. I know I tend to blab quite a bit, but that's just who I am. So I hope you like some aspect of it. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. All right, bye.